Buongiorno studenti! Today we're going to learn how to talk about your ancestors in Italian. These are words that you won't easily find in textbooks, but they are essential for talking about your relationships in real life, especially if you visit Italy to reconnect with your Italian roots. So if you want to learn real practical Italian vocabulary, make sure to subscribe to my channel and enable notifications. You will get fresh weekly lessons that focus on the Italian you actually need. Also, let me know in the comments which one of these family words was totally new for you. Ok, iniziamo. Let's begin. So I've already covered the basic Italian vocabulary and the vocabulary for extended family in 2 other videos. As always, the links to those videos will be in the description below this one. So today we are going to start with some people who, even though they are not blood relations, they do have a very important role in the Italian culture and social structure. I'm talking about godfather and godmother. That in Italian is padrino, godfather, padrino, and madrina, godmother, madrina. And yes, the movie in Italian is called Il Padrino because of that. So these are the first 2 words I wanted to highlight. These people are not your blood relations technically, but they have a still very important role in our social culture, in our society, and even in our families. Okay, 2 more words that are related to padrino and madrina are figlioccio and figlioccia. So godson and goddaughter. Figlioccio, figlioccia. Perfetto. Now there's very quickly a grammar point I want you to notice. I know this is a vocabulary lesson, but I want to make you aware of this. When we talk about family members, when we talk about one family member, we usually drop the article even though we're using the possessive adjective. So in Italian, in general, when we use possessive adjectives, my, your, his, her, we use the article. So we say my book, for example. This general rule has one exception in Italian, which is when you talk about one family member. So, for example, if we want to say her mother, we say sua madre, which is exactly like in English. So, if we talk about one family member, we drop the article. We say sua madre, suo padre, etc. When we talk about madrina, padrino, figlioccio, and figlioccia, since they are not technically family members, so they're not blood related, we go back to the general rule of using the article. So we do say la sua madrina, la mia madrina, la tua madrina, etc. So just wanted you to notice this. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, no problem. This is not a grammar lesson. I do have a dedicated grammar lesson on this topic, which is how to use possessive adjectives with family members. As always, I'm going to leave the link in the description for you to check it out. Okay, let's move on. Let's go back to blood relations, talking about cousins. In Italian, cousin is cugino, or if it's a woman, cugina. And the cousin we usually talk about is the cugino di primo grado. So that means first cousin, meaning the son or the daughter of your aunt or uncle. But when you talk about your ancestors or your family relations in Italy, you may need to talk about cousins that are more distant. So how do we say that? We say cugino di secondo grado, so second cousin, cugino di terzo grado, third cousin, and so forth. So when you talk about more distant cousins, just remember to add the number, the ordinal number. Cugino di primo grado is the standard, the closest. Cugino di secondo grado, cugino di terzo grado. Perfetto. Okay. Now let's learn the word for great-grandfather and great-grandmother. Those are bisnonno, bisnonno, and bisnonna. Bisnonna. So we have bis to say great. So nonno is grandfather, bisnonno is great-grandfather. Like I told you for madrina e padrino, when we start talking about ancestors, So people who are your blood relations, but they are more distant from you, we start doing the same thing that we did with madrina and padrino. So we start using the article again. So if you want to say my grandfather, we say mio nonno, mia nonna, tuo nonno, tua nonna. The general rule, the rule for family members in Italian. But if you start talking about more distant relations, even though they are blood relations, we go back to using the article. So we say il mio bisnonno instead of mio bisnonno. So mio nonno, closer, so we drop the article. Il mio bisnonno, more distant, so we go back to using the article. So keep this in mind for all the other words that we're going to learn from now on. And by the way, I know these are a lot of words, so keep in mind that you can easily review all these words with the PDF I prepared for you to accompany this lesson. As always, the link will be in the description. Ok, continuiamo. Here's the word for great uncle and great aunt. Prozio and prozia. Va bene? Prozio, prozia. Now, I know that I just taught you that great grandfather is bisnonno. Instead, great uncle is prozio. So we use two different beginnings, but that's how it is. So bisnonno and prozio, we do use two different beginnings. Just keep that in mind. The word, this is my favorite word, pronipote. What does pronipote mean? It means a lot of things. If you watch my previous video about family members, you probably remember that I highlighted how the word nipote in Italian is an incredibly confusing word, because the word nipote can mean a grandson, granddaughter, nephew, or niece, just nipote. The same thing happens with great-grandson, great-granddaughter, great-nephew, and great-niece. We just add pro, but the words remain the same. So pronipote can have 4 different meanings in Italian. I know, like we have such a huge vocabulary, so many different words for the subtle nuances, but we couldn't figure out another word for these 4 different relations. Lo so. È l'italiano. So keep in mind that the same way nipote covers 4 different relations, pronipote covers the same one, just great. So pronipote works for all of them, so for female and for male. Ok? Perfetto. Let's see some other interesting words for ancestors. Now, if you're looking at your family tree and you need to talk about your great-great-grandfather or great-great-grandmother, that will be 𝗓𝗧𝗏𝗧 and 𝗓𝗧𝗏ola. 𝗓𝗧𝗏ola and 𝗓𝗧𝗏ola. That's how we say that. Okay, just 2 more words I want to share with you when you're talking about family members and your family tree, so your ancestors. The word for ancestor in Italian is actually avo. Avo. So this can be a surprise because it doesn't look at all like in English. So avo singolare, avi plurale. That's how you say ancestor or ancestor. So for example, I miei avi, my ancestors. And finally, if you're looking at your family tree or you are recalling your family tree and you're talking about someone that's kind of related to you, but you don't even remember what the relationship is, then I have an expression for you. That's parente alla lontana. Literally, relative at the distant. And that's how we talk about someone who's related to us, but we really don't remember how they're related to us. Oh, sì, un parente alla lontana. È un parente alla lontana. That's how you say in true Italian style. Fantastico! Now you know all the essential Italian words to talk about your ancestors in Italian. If you found this lesson helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more practical Italian vocabulary. Also, don't forget to tell me in the comments which word you will use first in your next Italian conversation. And I will see you in the next video. Ci vediamo al prossimo video. Ciao da Valentina!